Welcome to Connecting Suppliers and Buyers, our ongoing conversation series where we create an open dialogue about challenges the pandemic created, success stories, and everything in between. The way we network has changed, so let's figure it out. Let's conversate.
We'll just go ahead and dive in. I'd love to know a little bit more about both of you and Fobbs Quality Signs. So if you want to just start by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit more about the business, that'd be great.
Yes, Gary, you go ahead and get started right quick.
Yes, I'm Gary Fobbs. Background 26 years in the Air Force. Came in supply management and was a war planner. I've been with business mechanics going on my second year as the estimator. I've done probably maybe 300 projects. I think I'm well versed in looking at drawings. Uh, Being the inspector for the inspector general, I kind of break down, documents very fast. So I pinpoint things very fast and able to call it excavators a project. We've been all over the place, from all the way to the West Coast, uh, East Coast, Midwest, even have gotten contracts from Canada, but we're not ready to go
Oh,
there yet.
awesome.
Yeah, we've got bids from there, but it's been a rewarding experience. So that's me, and I'm working from Georgia. I live in Grovetown, Georgia.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
But I come to Virginia a lot. Like I tell Jags, if I need to come down to assist, I'm on the road. Keep a bad pack. Uh,
There you go. Ready
prior
to roll.
military, so you got to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Work planner, we up on call 24 hours a day.
What,
So
what drew you to Fobbs Quality Signs?
Let me put it in a nutshell because you ain't got all day to listen to my story.
Okay.
I used to work for Coleman Signs. Coleman Signs is the largest sign manufacturer from West Virginia to Florida. They control this. Many companies buy in different regions of United States, but certain companies control certain areas
Okay.
and they have dominion over them. And so I was there for 27 years, only missed 8 days. And so
Right.
I just couldn't take it no more. So I left and get me to drive a 53-footer truck because I had to take care of my family. And God showed me through a song, you done planted the seeds, it's your time, walk in your season. 3 weeks later,
Mhm.
God showed me that I can do it on my own. So that's how Fobbs Quality Sign got created. I got frustrated. My pastor said sometimes God makes it uncomfortable for you to move you because you got complacent, you got relaxed. And so I knew VDOT specs, road and bridge. I knew those things, but I didn't never know that I could do a business or start a business. So I started my business November the 4th, 2018. And I just started beating the roads to start teaming up with NBL and SBSD to get my certifications. So I'm SWAM, Micro, and DBE in Virginia, with DBE in South Carolina 2 months ago, with DBE in North Carolina a month ago, and we're about to be DBE in Maryland.
That's great.
And so, but it's been up climb. But that's how Fobbs Quality Signs got started. I left Coleman and went and branched on my own, and we're about 2.5 years right now.
That's awesome.
What's been the most challenging part getting started?
Just getting a level playing field. I can make it as simple as that. Just getting a level playing field. They say you have to have your certifications. I done had these 3 certifications in Virginia that sometimes the procurement person doesn't know what the field needs or what they know. They just see numbers. And I explained to everybody, I said, I'm that guy that's going to try to get you a great product. You might have to pay twice as much, but you won't have to come back and buy that product again because they just see numbers and they just want to buy a product. Then when the product don't last, you're looking at 2 or 3 times placing the same thing you could have bought one time and bought a doable, a lasting product.
Yeah.
And that's the variance of durability with certain items and with material. 3M has 3 types. They have engineer grade, high intensity, and diamond grade. Where you don't need diamond grade, and engineer grade sometimes is too low. So you try to put people in the middle with the high intensity, and it will last by the years of their guarantee.
Yeah.
But just
I'm
getting
sure it's challenging getting in front of people to have that conversation and let them know, those differences.
Oh, I love it. That's why I think Chris was down there holding the mic. And Chris, you notice every time you gave me the mic, I said, I'm James Fobbs from from Fobbs Squad Science. I wanted them to get to know me, who I was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Explain to the situations we're dealing with.
Yeah, I think it's important to say. I mean, we were talking about Swam Fest as the event that
Yes, sir.
we were at when we met, and I think it's important what you said there is that you were, every opportunity you had, you were speaking out, like you said, saying who you were, meeting people. That's kind of why we are here today, is because you were somebody that was memorable to me. I mean, very, you followed up with what you said you were going to do. It's not just with you. It was not just all talk. It was, you also followed up with, action as well. So
that speaks volumes to you and how you run your business.
Let me just say this right quick. Not knowing all these years that I would be in business one day, I see God showing me that I built up a relationship with customers. Because once I left Coleman, God just put in my spirit, say travel. And I went 23,000 miles my first year.
Wow.
I went everywhere in South Carolina to shake hands with people that I never met in my life. And I just went down there shaking hands and seeing people. And the guy said in Holly Hills, South Carolina, he said, James, I'll buy from you before I buy from that guy from Michigan because you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just traveled, and I traveled all over the state. I knew many BDOTs, and I still haven't met them all. I have talked with them over the phone, but many of them I have. And so my first order was out Tazewell County. You familiar with Tazewell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great experience, and it was a learning experience. But also, I've done work with UR, Radford, town of Christiansburg, town of Bridgewater, town of Front Royal, city of Manassas. I just picked up Manassas Park last week.
Yeah.
That's been rewarding to get to all these cities, but the colleges only JMU and Radford, and mostly JMU than Radford. I only had one order from Radford. I think I had about 5 orders with Robert and Dustin from JMU.
And can you maybe talk about, I guess, a little bit of the differences that you've noticed from each school that you're talking about, like Radford, JMU, or even not even just keeping it to the schools? Basically, I'm just kind of get some ideas as far as maybe difficulties that you've had.
Well, yeah, greatly. We did our first show in Christopher Newport 2 years ago. Then we did Mary Washington. I had a friend of mine go out to BMI because Mary Washington and BMI had it at the same day.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Radford last year, just before the pandemic closed, shut us down. And I was there. I already been talking to Daisha Holmes. So I asked, could I stop by and sit down with them? I left at 4 that morning. I got out there and started my show at 8. I got to Virginia Tech about 2:30. I was back home about 6 that day.
What a day.
But it was a rewarding day to get over there and sit down with Kathleen that deals with construction. Mike, Mr. Epps, which is no longer there. I just found out last week he was a sign shop guy, and Daisha and another lady. And we all sat down. I gave them my books. I shared what I can do. And then the pandemic hit us,
Pandemic affected your business?
It slowed it down for 2 months.
Okay.
The blessing I had, the gentleman that I built a relationship with at Coleman Signs was a striper, Southern Stripe, and he's on my website. One of the vehicles I put graphics on. And he allowed me to work with him, where he was buying all his signs when he does his parking lots and roadways. And so we built up a relationship that I go out and help him with his striping as a helping hand. And he was still buying all the signs and introducing me to his customers. And so that really helped working with him and having some type of income, doing that fall of that year, then Gary came along with us and started estimating. And so we got through the pandemic, basically working with him and just starting to stay in contact with people. So we kind of went stalemate for about 2 months. Then it vaguely started picking up. But you're looking at a business, never had a loan, credit union or bank, a business that got SBA gave us $1,000 and NBL, which I'm a member of, gave us $1,000. We have filled out like 8 programs, SBA, Virginia 30, you name it, we didn't fill them out. And so we made it, and I'm thankful.
Are you on Zooms a lot, or like how are you keeping in contact with these people that are?
Zoom is starting to build back up. I just went to Lynchburg because I got a new paving coming, Patterson Brothers Paving. But I'm still willing to hit the road. It just, everybody's not receptive to that idea.
Right.
But Virginia Tech Show was awesome. And now we have this setting, BMI. I just forgot the lady's name. I couldn't find a card. She's trying to set up the same thing.
Tracy?
Tracy?
Yes.
I can be able to find on my email, Tracy. So Tracy, when I tell her we was doing this, she said she would like to do this also. Because I was following up with 3 sorts of contacts I had there. But no, the road is open because I do a lot of my deliveries. I use UPS, and I have other sources that I can ship from the companies, the vendors I use. But the road, I will always be, okay? And so that's the in-person is everything.
Can you talk a little bit about, let me back up like a couple steps here and talk about
That's fine.
maybe who's going to need your products or services? You know, you're talking about signs. I mean, can you maybe, talk a little bit more about, you know, who you're looking for, or who you're, I don't know. Maybe you can answer that question.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking it.
We will be able to sell to anybody in the country, from your grade school to your city, your town, your municipalities, to your construction companies, your contracting. We have built, Amazon changed the game.
Yeah, very much so.
You're the you get the vendors, you get the demand and supply, and you connect the dots. Well, we have the capability of 3 companies. We got great companies: Banner Express, Image 360, and Tally Signs. And what they have provided for us is the opportunity that our turnaround is, and of course, Coleman Signs and my other big vendors in Mississippi, Capital Corporation, MD Solution out of Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia. We have this opportunity. Our business is built to turn around the items quicker than anybody in the state of Virginia. Then we're going to be the East Coast, then we're going to be United States. And what it is, when you call us, our turnaround time is 2 to 3 weeks. No matter what the product is, unless it's some custom made or to the stream. Most companies are 30 days.
Okay.
Well, Chris, if you need a sign say Chris parking only,
right.
If you go to Coleman Signs, they're going to tell you for a 12 by 18, Chris, we're going to make that sign, but we're going to make it to you in 30 days. And you don't know how many times people have said, I'll pay you more, but I can't wait that long.
I'm sure, yeah.
Don't give Chris any ideas about his own parking spot now.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I'm actually, how long is that? 2 weeks, right? You said?
2 weeks. Okay. Chris, this is the kicker here. And I always use this phrase. I take the person's first name and I say parking only. Well, I can turn around that sign in 2 weeks. Well, you say, James, well, I pay you more. Well, Chris, I can turn around in a week for this price. I can turn around in 3 days for this price. I can turn around in 24 hours at this price. Chris, if you call me in the morning, I can turn that sign around in a day, same day. We have that capability with our suppliers, okay? And it takes about having the material in the right place and having the right people to know how this person can't cut it in a day, but this person can. So I'll be able to get the material cut, pull the blank, apply it, or have it already applied with the reflective sheeting on it, go in my garage, put it together, and deliver it.
Wow.
Talking about your cone, your barrel, your message boards. You're talking about stop signs. You're talking about poles. Anything in the sign business we can get our hands on. Anything.
Okay. Yeah.
A millionaire told me in Myrtle Beach, said, James, to sound like your business, you're gonna be all right, but follow up is everything.
Absolutely.
And that's why I try to tell Gary, is it very important that we call, not to be a nuisance, but make sure we follow up. And so I have Tally Signs, which is located in Richmond. They can put a sign on top of a bank. They changed the King's Dominion sign down, the new King's Dominion sign, Bonds Court,
Yeah.
Duke University. So they are capable, and they have the capability with contacts all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start connecting the dots and putting yourself with great people, so they have done work with me with the Boys and Girls Club, which you'll see on my website with the puller case, and we done work at the airport.
So you're using them as a sub, is that right?
Yes, them,
Awesome.
Banner Express, and Image 360.
Awesome.
Image 360 is like daycare signs and little construction signs when you're setting up for new construction. But when it gets past that level, it falls into Tyler Signs' hands. We was taught as a hardworking mother told us to go out and work. Gary did 21 years of Air Force. Our other brother did 27 years of Navy. Made it up to Master Chief or Senior Chief, whatever was the highest one. And we have been a dependable company. Our job is to get you the product so you can go on with your job. We're not going to say something we cannot do. Okay, we have had few opportunities to prove ourselves, and that's all we're looking for is an opportunity to prove ourselves. We have the resources, we have the vendors, we have the contacts. It's just trying to get the opportunity.
Yeah,
and our slogan is, if you want Amazon service, you got to pay prime price.
That's good.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I think you said a couple things here in this conversation so far, both of you, that one, I think, and it's been a ongoing theme, is that during the pandemic, you pivot your business a little bit to where, you know, what you can do, what you could do. It sounded like you said, James, earlier, you got with people that, you know, you can work with it during that time, that 2-month stretch. And then also, just like you said earlier, Gary, the communication, not everybody does it. And just, it's real simple things to be successful in business. I mean, just communication. You know, I'm looking at your business, Fobbs Quality Signs. It's not only just quality signs, it's quality customer support, quality community. I mean, it's everything is quality with you guys. It's not just, you know, your product. It's also, like you said, customer service, communication, all those all the simple things that sometimes get lost in the everyday business world. Just following up, and I can't tell you how many times I meet somebody like I did James at Swam Fest, and either they don't follow up with me or they'll send some generic email to where it's just like, you know, this isn't even, you know, sometimes I get emails for IT equipment and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is not my world. I'm in construction and stuff like that. You're emailing the wrong guy. So it's like the mass emails and things like that don't always work out. It might be harder. It's harder to maybe get hung up on, or, you know, physically hear that no, or we don't need you or whatever. But like you said, at least you can get some feedback and get that response is always, I think, helpful. Even if you don't get the bid or whatever, you can learn from those things. So
Certainly.
yeah,
Absolutely.
well, guy, I don't have anything. We've gone over everything that I had on the list to talk about. Caroline, do you have anything else, or?